Hey guys, this is a favorite part of the videos that I want to highlight is I want to call on-site hero or somebody behind the scenes that you would never meet unless there's a big, huge problem and he has to get involved. And his name is Dave. I don't want to give you his last name because it's FBI, it's top secret, and it's none of your business. Just kidding. But this is Dave, this is service manager at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. And I want us to really talk about how did you get started?
Well, like I said on the show a few times, I started at age 19 at this very dealership as a technician apprentice. I made my way through the ASEP program, which was a cooperation of Macomb Community College and General Motors, which is still available to any up-and-coming technicians that want to pursue this for a career. I can definitely facilitate that for some new people that want to come aboard. I spent approximately 25 years as a technician. I had a couple back surgeries that kind of put me in limbo, and I did a few odd jobs here and there and stayed with the organization and kind of worked my way into service manager.
So Dave, I want to break it down. I want to break it down with the meat and potatoes, right? So at 19 years old, did you have your goals set out for what you wanted to do?
Well, you know, I was just eager to get started at a career, get a career established, start making some decent income. You know, I needed health benefits. I wanted to get on with my life. I wanted to do that real quick. So yeah, this was based on an interest of mine. I was a tinkerer. I like to play with cars and bicycles and all that kind of stuff. I think there's a lot of people out there like that.
So let's talk a little bit about the apprentice program that you were with. Was it Macomb?
Macomb
Community College.
Yep.
The apprenticeship programs right now, are they still available for anyone that actually wants to get involved?
Absolutely.
At the dealership level, far as the service department?
Absolutely. You know, you can contact me. I can get you in conjunction with Macomb. You do need a GM dealership for this particular program to sponsor you. So it would be approximately a 6-week on, 6-week off classroom versus the shop back here.
So you get both. You get do six weeks in the classroom where you're going to be textbook, right?
Exactly.
Teaching, instructor, right? And then you get the on-site 6 weeks at the dealership.
Absolutely.
When you say a GM store needs to sponsor you, what does that mean when you say sponsor you?
Well, you know, they have to have a job with us. So we have to hire them as an apprentice. And we would pay them an hourly rate until they graduated, which is it's about a 2-year program, so they do need that. This particular program does need you employed at a GM dealership to work in your off time from school.
So wait a minute, so you go to school, right? You got to be enrolled in Macomb Community College.
Correct.
Right? And then you have to have a job here.
Correct.
Okay. And then, so after 6 weeks, what happens after 6 weeks after you complete the program?
You keep that in rotation for approximately 1.5 to 2 years, and then you typically will become a fully certified technician with hands-on experience, all your certifications that you need to operate as a technician.
Okay, so what did you like most about the program, the apprenticeship that you had that you wanted to make it your career, huge part of your life?
Well, for me, there was a financial advantage for me because if you play your cards right, you can actually make enough money. I mean, we're talking about 30 years ago.
Okay.
But it was designed for you to make enough money at your work experience portion to pay for that following semester, that 6-week mini semester, right? So you could go back and forth, and I graduated debt-free. I didn't have any student loans or anything like that, and I did end up with that's great.
That's
right?
it. Station break. Dave graduated, and by the way, his last name is Wilkie, Dave Wilkie. What I said in the beginning, FBI secret, is not a secret. His last name is Wilkie, Dave Wilkie. So key point, Dave graduated debt-free.
Correct. So that was a huge incentive. So, I mean, I know costs have went up, obviously, but so is our rate to pay those technicians as they go through their work experience. So it's still designed the same way.
So let's talk about your experience as a tech working at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. What's one of the greatest experience that you would like to share that you had doing those, you said 25 years as being a tech.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely challenging. It's not mundane. You're going to run into different things every day. Nothing against anybody involved in productivity or production work, but you know, that can get stagnant, that can get boring. There's a challenge here every day when you open your toolbox. A new problem arises every day with cars, right? Whether it just be a model change and new information that needs to be learned, or we got a new problem that we haven't seen in a while, or at all sometimes. So it's challenging. It keeps you fresh, it keeps you moving. The guys back here kind of have their own schedule. I mean, they're not tied to a time clock per se. They're not tied to a production line.
Because they're on commission though, right?
They're on
commission.
100% commission
Okay.
once they graduate.
Okay.
And you know, if a guy needs to go and run and get a haircut in the middle of the day, he has that freedom, as long as, you know, obviously we work it out so that work gets covered, but it's not like a stoppage of work because one guy has to leave. So there's a lot of freedom. There's a lot of self-discipline involved as well, you know, because you have to keep moving and keep focused. But it's definitely a challenge, and it's definitely rewarding. You fix those cars that nobody else can fix around town.
Right.
You get into a lot of that stuff here. So
we're going to end a part of this because I want to go to our second part. But before we end this first part with you, I want you to talk a little bit about electric cars.
Well, electric cars, you know.
We can talk about the Bolt, you know, because I know we do have the Bolt right now, right? What's one of the things that you love about going electric? We're going to give all positive today.
I mean, personally, I love the way they drive. I love how quiet they are. I love the responsiveness of the acceleration. I just think it is the wave of the future, you know, not to sound too corny, but this is where we're going. And, you know, from emissions issues and fuel economy, obviously, we're going to have a different type of fuel. We're still going to pay, but...
You're still going to pay.
You're still going to pay.
You're still going to pay.
You're going to have that plug-in every night, but it's not going to be anywhere near the same as going to the pump. And there's a lot of misconceptions and a lot of fears about, you know, range, how far can I get in an electric car? All that is building quickly. I mean, just since the Volt back in the mid-2000s.
Right, I had a Volt.
Right.
I had a Volt. And,
I mean, now we have so much more range.
I enjoyed my Volt, actually. I did. I had a good time with it. I was living out in Macomb and then, you know, working here in Waterford. If I forgot to charge it at night, you know, the great thing what I liked about the Volt was, and we said Volt, V-O-L-T, not Bolt, but they don't make the Volt anymore.
Correct.
But the Volt was where you had the gas and the electric. And
Right.
I love that because if I forgot to plug it in, I could come to work on my gas. And
Yeah.
then I ran to the charger, on one of the two chargers that we had at the dealership, I'm sorry, 3, to see. We always fought over who could get their car there faster in the morning.
Right.
And I always lost because I was the last one coming in the morning. Last one coming in the morning, but the last one leaving at night, right? But we used to kind of fight over the chargers, me and my sales manager, because it was like, who's going to get to work faster? And I probably won twice out the week because I made it my business to get to work early to get to the charger first, because the other 2 chargers were being used by cars that were for sale. So we had a designated charging station.
Right. So technology has advanced to the point where even though you had that backup gasoline engine in the Volt, there's so much more range now with the battery we have now. For better or for worse, General Motors has decided to go away from the gas engine along with the electrical. But again, the range it's exponentially better than it was, and it's only going to get better. Range and power and everything like that, and charge times are reducing, so everything is moving along. You know, you think about 100 years ago, you couldn't find a gas station.
Did you say 100 years ago?
I did say 100 years ago. I mean, people are, well, where am I going to charge my electric car at right now? Well, that's the same analogy people had, or the same fear that people had when gasoline cars came about. There wasn't a gas station on every corner, but we may do, and quickly, there was a gas station on every corner. So that's what's going to end up happening with electric
charging station on every corner.
Yep.
Charging station on every corner. I can't wait to see that.
Right.
Really? I can't wait to see that. I'm just kidding. I don't know if I'm looking forward to every charging station on the corner, but I mean, it's the way if this the way the world turns, what can we do?
Right.
We have to go with the times, right?
And embrace it.
Embrace it. You know what? You embrace it more than I will is because I'm still stuck on the gas. So I'm still dealing with the going electric in my mind. It's a mind thing. I was good with the gas and electric. That's why I leased the Vault, but now it's going to be all electric. It's a mind thing.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, I think when people get experience with them, drive them, I mean, come down and drive one and just see how responsive they are and how quiet they are. I mean, that alone probably will change most people's minds, really.
Okay. All righty. Thanks, Dave. We're going to go on to our second segment.
Sounds good.
All right.